Let's get right into this review for The Running Man. Alright, so this film is directed by Edgar Wright, who previously worked on other notable films like Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim. Now, I do believe the story for this film is trying to be a faithful adaptation based on a book by Stephen King made in 1982, also titled The Running Man. To preface, I have to say when I first saw the previews for this film, I thought this might potentially turn out to be one of the better popcorn flicks to come out this year, and that notion got me invested. I also enjoyed Glenn Powell in a lot of the recent films he starred in, so I was excited to see him play the main protagonist Ben Richards for this action flick. And now that I've seen the film, what did I think about the cinematic package here? I thought this was a pretty fun time. To start with the positives, the casting was spot on. Glenn Powell owns the role and carries the film on his back. Also, the rest of the ensemble did a great job with their characters to keep me immersed into this fictional world. So I found the casting to be perfect for the narrative being told. Another positive to this cinematic experience were the visuals that paired with the film. The production team behind the vision for this story nailed the dystopic look to the world, and all of the CGI, set locations, costume designs, and special effects played a role in helping to immerse me into the story at hand. I also found myself thoroughly engaged throughout the 2-hour and 13-minute runtime without there being too many sluggish segments to ruin the pacing for me. Now, in terms of all of the acts involved, I did find Act 1 to be the strongest segment, and the impact did start dwindling down ever so slightly by the time we reach Act 3. I say that because there are several nonsensical elements introduced from the start of Act 2, which can play like a double-edged sword since the film starts off fairly grounded with a serious tone and a big stake at hand. Also, there are some predictable story elements that surface by the latter half of the film, with there being a generic undertone to these scenarios. But honestly, I thought the film played out well enough and these cons never did bother me. As for the final positive, I found the core themes and premise to the story to remain simple yet effective. And I thought a lot of the ideas and plot points came full circle by the end. And yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of other negatives to say. This is a fun storyline that teeters in the B tier zone, and I found this to be a fun popcorn flick experience. My final score for The Running Man is 8 out of 10. This was a solid time at the theaters. I think the trailers do a good job in solidifying the overall experience you'll witness on the big screen. If you were already interested, I highly recommend you check this film out yourself, because at the end of the day, I think most people will walk away satisfied rather than disappointed with their overall experience. Anyways, thanks for checking this review out. I'll have another one coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I shall see you on my next upload. Until then, stay safe out there, and peace.